How you doing?
As two comrades survive, so long will the veterans of foreign wars in the United States render tribute to our heroic death. Comrades, attention, play the national anthem. Present arms. On this day, forever consecrated to our heroic dead, we once again assemble to express sincere reverence. This monument represents the resting places of many departed comrades who served in all wars. Wherever the body of a comrade lies, there the ground is hallowed. Our presence here is in solemn commemoration of all these men and women, an expression of our tribute to their devotion and duty, to their courage and patriotism. By their services on land, on sea, and in the air, they have made us debtors. For the flag of our nation still flies over a land of free people. Friends, neighbors, and fellow veterans, welcome to the 2026 Memorial Day Remembrance Service. We gather today on these hallowed grounds for a milestone moment as this marks the 80th Memorial Day ceremony conducted by Price Crane Robinson's VFW Post 4642 here in Linden. For 8 decades, our community has turned out, rain or sun, and marched down these streets with my comrades and so many who came before us. Pausing at the Striawassee River Bridge to honor those lost at sea, then gathering here in this peaceful clearing for a moment of solemn remembrance of American heroes. We assemble here again not to celebrate, but to honor and pay homage to the courage, bravery, and the ultimate sacrifice and service made by them for each one of us standing here today. Across this great country, in quiet cemeteries, bustling town squares, and urban monuments, America pauses to acknowledge that the price of freedom is paid in a currency beyond human value. Precious lives of our fallen heroes is a debt we can never fully repay. When we speak of the legacy of our veterans, We often look back to grainy black and white or faded color photos of previous generations of warriors, like those who founded our post and countless others who we honor here. But today I want to talk about a different legacy, one being written right now by the men and women of the all-volunteer force. For over 50 years, our nation has relied solely on those who choose to serve. There is no draft. Every man and woman who was worn the uniform in our modern era did so because they walked into a recruiting office and said, "Send me." But this choice has created a strange paradox in our modern society. During World War II, about 12% of our population was serving in uniform. In those days, nearly every home in Linden had a stake in the fight against tyranny. Patriotic zeal was a communal necessity because the sacrifice was shared by all. Being labeled 4F or medically unfit for service was a scarlet letter dreaded by so many young men at that era. Today's landscape has shifted. During the last 2 decades of conflict, the period we refer to as the global war on terror, less than 1% of Americans claim post-9/11 military service. In context, that's statistically a margin of error, but that is no error, ladies and gentlemen. Over the past 25 years, 4.4 million of us have served in uniform. We have become a nation where a tiny, elite segment of our population bears 100% of the burden. I could share volumes with you about the courage, selflessness, and sacrifice of the true 1%ers of our society. And if we narrow that number even further, only 2/3 of that percent has faced the grit and horror of combat. This disparity has changed the nature of our patriotic zeal. It's easy to be patriotic when it costs nothing. A sticker in a car window or a shot of USA at a sporting event. No, true patriotism, the kind we honor today, is found in the modern veteran whose legacy isn't just about battles won. It's about the conviction and the quiet endurance of being one of the few who stands in defense of the many. And we cannot speak of the veteran sacrifice without speaking of their families. In the age of the volunteer force, the family doesn't just wait. They serve as well. They are the ones who endure 3rd, 4th, and 5th deployments, something unheard of in past eras. They are the ones who manage on the home front while their loved ones are in places the majority of Americans couldn't identify on a map. And when a service member makes the ultimate sacrifice, that hole in the family tree doesn't just affect them. It ripples through an entire community that all too often doesn't quite know how to grieve with them because they haven't shared those same experiences. We all felt a similar weight of sacrifice this past year as we remember our comrade and commander, John Bond, a Vietnam veteran and a brave submariner who led this post with pride and devotion, whose loss to a senseless act of violence last fall tore open the fabric of his beloved family, leaving a hole in our community that can never be filled. John's presence in our very ranks was a reminder that the covenant of service for our veterans doesn't end when we put the uniform away. It's a lifelong commitment to our comrades, to the citizens of our community and our country, which all of us carry to our last mortal breath. So today I ask, how do we honor this legacy? How do we lift up the memories of the 1% and men like John Bond? As we stand here on this site, let us resolve to close the gap of that 1% with the 99. I ask that you honor the fallen not just by remembering their names, but by striving to be better, to do better as individuals and as a society, an embodiment of something that is truly worthy of their lives and sacrifices. We honor them by acknowledging that the freedom we enjoy today and in the days ahead is a luxury bought by the blood, sweat, and last mortal breath of a very small, very brave group of volunteers. May we always remember, may we always be grateful, may we always be worthy. God bless them in their eternal sleep. God bless their families, our current serving military personnel, and the great United States of America. Thank you and Semper Fidelis. Comrade Chaplain, will you ask the divine blessing?
Father of us all, in the depth of our silent reverence, we realize the truth of the inspired words. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. As comrade after comrade depart, we march on with our ranks grown thinner. Help us to be faithful unto thee and to one another. Look in mercy on the surviving spouses and children of our departed comrades. We beseech thee, and with thine own tenderness, console and comfort those who are bereaved. Heavenly Father, bless our country with freedom, peace, and righteousness. Though thy throne in heaven, we praise thy great name forever and forever. Amen.
Attention! Officers and members of Christ King Robinson's Post 4642, veterans in foreign wars of the United States, we will now pay our respects to our departed comrades. In doing so, we offer solemn tribute to all comrades wherever they may rest. Senior Vice Commander.
On behalf of Post 4642, Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, I place this symbol of our remembrance.
Junior Vice Commander.
I place this symbol of purity. May each future generation emulate the unselfish courage of all men and women who fought for freedom.
Officer of the Day.
I place this symbol of purity. May each future generation emulate the unselfish courage of all men and women who fought for freedom.
Officer of the Day.
I place this emblem of eternity. Its color bespeaks life everlasting, and thus we immortalize the brave deeds our military service members have given their lives on land, on sea, and in the air.
Comrade Chapman.
I dedicate my walk today George Huber. I'm honored to be here today to help recognize and salute the men and women who have served and sacrificed to keep America free, and to salute the families of the missing who continue to keep the candle of hope alive. There are over 83,000 Americans listed as missing and or unaccounted for from our nation's wars going back to the beginning of World War II. The black and white POW-MIA flag flies below Old Glory to remind us of those who put country before self, who suffered greatly in captivity, or who did not return home. Let us remember the families of the missing who continue to burn a candle of hope. May God bless our former POWs. May God bless the memory of the missing and their families who continue to wait. And may God continue to bless the U.S. of A.
You are not forgotten.
On behalf of our glorious republic, whose integrity our comrades enlisted and served, I place this emblem of our nation. The flag of our country was theirs to defend. Its glorious colors shall wave over them in death as in life for everyone to behold. At this time, I'm going to reintroduce a tradition that we had in the past of conducting a roll call to account for the officers of the post that are present and acknowledge those members of our post who have passed on in the last year. Senior Vice Commander Allen.
Present.
Junior Vice Commander Newberry.
Present.
Trustee Dan Sly.
Present.
Trustee Jim Moore.
Present.
Adjutant Pat Munch.
Present.
Quartermaster Greg Durkat.
Present.
Chaplain Mike Jakes.
Present.
Comrade Tennis. Comrade Robert Tennis. Comrade Robert W. Tennis.
Absent.
Commander Bond. Commander John Bond. Commander John Thomas Bond.
Lost serving his country.
Comrades, present arms, honor guard, on your ready. Present arms.
Hood. On. Face half left. Move. Ready. Aim. Fight. Aim. Fight. Aim. Fight. Detail. That's it. Face half right. Move. Present. Huh.
Comrades in silent land beyond, wherever your mortal remains may rest, these solemn services we hold in tribute to you. Order aren't. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude our service today, I would like to acknowledge some key individuals and organizations. First of all, the City of Linden and the Linden Police and Fire Departments. Special thank you to Chief Sutter for the outstanding support he provides year after year, especially given the circumstances with the road work going on right now. I'd like to acknowledge our comrades in the American Legion and Auxiliary here in Linden for participating with us today. And members from the Sons of the American Revolution who have joined us as well. A special tribute goes out to Mr. John Bennett, director of the Linden High School Band and the Linden High School Marching Band, who are always here giving up their holiday weekend to participate and support this very important community event as we take a moment to reflect on the great heroes who have served and died in defense of our country. Thank you, Mr. Bennett and the Linden High School Marching Band. For any of you who have had family members who have given their life in final sacrifice to our country, and those that have just served and those loved ones have passed out as well, we thank you for your support of them and of other veterans, and please keep them in your heart, thoughts, and prayers. And finally, to my comrades from Linden VFW Post 4642, our numbers are small, but our strength is very large. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our service. As you make your way back down to the dam and gazebo area for the city's activities, please be mindful of the traffic and the road conditions. Use thickener as you came down here. Please use that in your retrograde. We don't want anyone to harm themselves working on poor road surfaces or running cross lines of traffic. So thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy what God has given us on a beautiful Memorial Day. Thank you.